What is up, know-it-alls? Welcome back to another video, this time NBA edition. Guys, the NBA season is upon us. It is back. It is great to... Oh, yes, I'm so excited for this NBA season.
Good morning, Slim, and welcome to the jam. Good morning, Slim.
Hey, Space Jam 2, LeBron James, coming out next year, right?
I'm cautiously optimistic about that. Like, we all love the first Space Jam. But I don't know, can you capture like the first one? I don't know, I hope so.
I don't know, man. All right, guys, today we're going to be breaking down the first two games of the NBA season. We got the 76ers versus Celtics in the early game, and then the 10:30 game, we got the Thunder and the Warriors. So let's start out in the East. The 76ers versus Celtics.
I mean, honestly, right here, this is a potential Eastern Conference final matchup. I mean, both these teams, I mean, we already know how good they are. The Celtics, obviously, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They were without their two best players in Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, and still they gave problems to the Cavaliers. And now they're getting Kyrie back, they're getting Gordon Hayward back, and now they're going to have an improved Jason Tatum, improved Jaylen Brown. I mean, this team is just loaded from top to bottom. They're as stacked as you could ever want a team, and they're manned by one of the best coaches in the league, Brad Stevens.
Yeah. What do you think about the whole mentality? Like, there's only one ball. Like, can you have too many good players versus having like a traditional big three or something like that? Or is there too many just good enough players but no best player on this team? You know how that could be a chemistry issue?
Yeah. No, I definitely think I think the whole chemistry thing is out of the room now. Now that we've seen what the Warriors have done and how they've sort of set the blueprint for guys to put aside their ego in the name of team success, I don't think there's going to be any sort of ego problems, especially with this Boston team. I hate how it's Boston. Of all teams, why does it have to be Boston? They are just, from top to bottom, they're filled with just good dudes that just want to win. Jason Tatum, humble kid. Gordon Hayward, humble guy. Jaylen Brown, humble. They're all humble, and they all want to win. They're all willing to share, give up the spotlight a little bit. I mean, it's a recipe for success, as much as it pains me to say.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Gordon Hayward, how they all play together, because they more or less kind of play the same position. I think Tatum,
they're all the same size.
Yeah, Tatum's a little bigger. Tatum's more of a 3-4 hybrid, you know what I mean? Whereas Gordon and who's the other? Brown is more of a 2-3 hybrid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like an off-guard small forward hybrid. But they're pretty much the same player. They're both really good at rebounds. They're both athletic, and they both score the ball. So it's going to be kind of weird to see how that dynamic works out, whether Jaylen Brown comes off the bench, he's a sixth man, or if they're all in the starting lineup. And then how is it going to be with Kyrie in there? Because when Jason Tatum and the team and everyone else on the team started playing really well, that was when Kyrie was out.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see Kyrie thrown in that mix. It's who's going to be the leading scorer on this team? Are they all going to average 15, 16, 17 points a game? Or is Kyrie going to average 24 like he's capable of? It's just very interesting. I really want to see the dynamic of this team. I don't think that they're going to be bad. I'm not arguing against them.
That'd be dumb to say.
I think they're going to be the #1 team in the East, but I'm just very curious as to how how it's all going to mesh and how it's going to work and what it's going to look like on the stat line.
Yeah. Well, I think what Brad Stevens he's been preaching since he got there. He's this team is going to be you can't think of these guys as all right, you're the 2, you're the 3, you're the 4. Because honestly, they like you said, they're all interchangeable. They're all the same size. I think they are going to all start together. Kyrie is going to be at the 1, Brown, and I know I'm just saying 1 and 2, but
I get what it's arbitrary. Yeah,
exactly. So Kyrie at the 1, Jaylen Brown at the 2, Hayward at the 3, Tatum at the 4, and then you have Horford at the 5. I mean,
Al Horford, the forgotten guy, and he's the only All-Star on the team last year.
He's the glue guy. Yeah. And the thing is, this whole lineup, they're full of two-way players. Jaylen Brown is probably more defensively, acclaimed than he is offensively, but he's still a good scorer. Gordon Hayward is also he's an above average 2 guy.
Yes.
Same with Jason Tatum, and of course Horford can do it all. And I think that pairs perfectly with Kyrie Irving because he is just going to be that go-to scorer that I do think is going to drop 20 a night. And I think they're going to mask him on defense as a whole. And like you said, #1 team in the East for sure.
Yeah, not to mention that you got Marcus Smart and you got Terry Rozier. You got some solid dudes coming off the bench. So this team is so stacked. It's kind of crazy. And you got the Baines, the big white dude. I mean, he's uncoordinated, but like he comes in, he does good. He does what he's supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Sixers. We've been talking about the Celtics enough. The Sixers are also a super exciting team. They probably have one of the best like 1-2 combos in the East with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And I mean, listen, when Embiid is playing and when he's healthy, he's like the best center, you know, one of the most dominant forces in the league.
Yeah.
The question is, will he remain healthy? Will Ben Simmons figure out a jump shot? And what can you expect out of Markelle Fultz? Because they did announce that he is going to be a starter for them. So they must have a lot of faith in him moving forward. That's my biggest question mark are we going to get anything out of Markelle Fultz? What is he going to look like?
Yeah, so basically the same thing that I was asking about Boston. How do you think that's going to work out chemistry-wise? Because Ben Simmons, even though he's listed, I think he's listed as a small forward, he plays point guard. You know,
yeah, but he plays point guard.
He plays point guard. Like, he straight up. And again, it's positionless basketball. I understand it. So, but still, like, when you have Ben Simmons out there and Markelle Fultz is a point guard, who's going to be playing point guard if you're going to start both of these guys out there? So that's very interesting to see how that dynamic works with the chemistry. Because honestly, I don't know if Ben Simmons is effective when you play him off ball. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
Because he has no jump shot. He thrives on dribble drive penetration. He's a big body. He needs the ball in his hands for his decision making. He might be one of the best decision makers in the league already, the best passers in the league. So if you take the ball out of his hands and you are dead set on putting Markelle Fultz out there and he's taking the ball up, I mean, you're kind of eliminating the one thing that Ben Simmons does well offensively.
That's the thing that Ben Simmons thrives on.
Exactly.
But I think the way it works out is like I think they're going to start Markelle like at the point guard position. But I honestly think Ben Simmons is going to do most of the ball handling.
Kind of like a LeBron with Kyrie thing.
Exactly. They're going to move Markelle off the ball. I think they're going to challenge him to see how effective he can be. Because in college, he was known as like a slasher. Like he could score from all over the court.
He was just as much as a two guard as a point guard. He's listed as a point guard, but he's a scorer. He can shoot.
He's got size.
Yeah.
I mean, the only question mark is his shot. Like, because again, like you have two guys with Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz that guys are going to sag off of. They're going to dare you to shoot. It's up to you to prove them wrong and say that you can shoot. And if both of them can figure out a jump shot, if just one of them can figure out a jump shot, it's going to take their team that much far because we know what Embiid is going to give us. He's going to give us 22 and 10 with great defense on the opposite end too. So I don't know. I mean, like I said earlier, this could be a potential Eastern Conference Finals matchup.
Probably.
But I don't know for sure. I don't know because the Raptors are also really good. But I mean, this is going to be a great game. I think for this game though, and I think, are they playing in Boston or are they playing?
It's in Boston.
I think the Celtics are going to take this one, especially at home.
Yeah. I just have one question because you're more of an NBA guy than me. So what happened with the whole Markelle Fultz shot thing? Because in college at Washington, that was he was a shooter. Like he was a 3-point like he
can make it.
He scored over 30 points a game. I think he led the country in scoring. And then what happened when he went into the NBA? And I know he had like an elbow or a shoulder injury or something.
Yeah.
And then his shot was just like broken. Like it was like the most flukiest, weirdest thing. I didn't understand it at all. Like how did that happen?
I mean, there's still no real clarity on it. Like in college, like he had a good shot, but there was like a hitch to it, right? Like you could see it. It wasn't as bad as it is now, but there was a little hitch to it. So when he came into the NBA, I think it was a combination of like he injured his shoulder and he also like got the yips. Like honestly, like I think like 80% of what it was the yips. Like I don't know what happened. What was the moment where like he just sort of his brain just broke and he's like, oh, I forgot how to shoot. But it happened, and I think that in combination with his injury, and he spent all season, I should say, working with a private trainer to get it right. And then it also doesn't help that you have the media at every practice. They're always questioning, like, yo, what's going on with Markelle Fultz? So he's got that in the back of his head, too. So, honestly, I think it was a combination of a minor, maybe not minor injury, but it was an injury, and I think he also just got the yips just straight up.
That's insane. All right, so
Yeah.
who are you picking in this game?
No, I'm definitely gonna go with the Celtics on this one. I think at home they're the Eastern Conference favorites right now. Their biggest competition, the Cavaliers, are no more. I think they're gonna come out with the force.
You got a score?
Score. I mean, both these teams are really good defensively. I don't see it like super high scoring, like both above 100. I'll say the Celtics by like 7. Like we'll go like 98-91 or something like that. I don't know. Something like that.
I'm going to go with the Sixers.
Okay.
Just because I think Boston will be a better team overall, but I think the Sixers will take this one just because they know who they are already. Yeah. Whereas Boston has to work out a lot of kinks. I think earlier in the year they might struggle a little bit because of all the new players on their team. Not new players, but everyone's
Gordon
healthy.
Hayward's never played with them.
Yeah, everyone's healthy, and it's going to be a little weird. It's going to be growing pains. So I think the Sixers will win this one. I'll say 102-95. Thunder versus the Warriors, the late game on Tuesday night. Joey, start it off.
I mean, listen, we all know who's going to win the championship here. We all know who's probably going to win the game tonight. It's going to be the Warriors, of course, the greatest team ever assembled. But, I mean, it also doesn't help that Russell Westbrook is not going to be playing this game because he's like the most intense player in the league. He had that minor, I think it was arthroscopic. I can't talk. Whatever. Yeah, arthroscopic surgery on his knee because of like some inflammation or whatever. But for the future, he should be fine. But just for this game, he's not going to be in it. So I think the Warriors are going to take this one even more easily than they were, even if he did play. Mm-hmm. But I mean, to be honest with you, I think the Thunder, like as a whole, they're going to be a lot better this year than they were last year. Last year they were at in the first round. I think the subtraction of Carmelo Anthony is going to be an addition in the long run.
Subtraction by addition. I like
subtraction by addition, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer that Russell Westbrook, I mean, I didn't even know that until you just told me this before the video, but I mean, Russell Westbrook's out, so it kind of takes away all the drama out of it, even though like the whole KD Westbrook thing is still in the past, like Westbrook, when he goes out there, especially when he plays against the Warriors, he's like a monster. Like he's just like trying to like destroy every Warrior. But so I mean that stinks. But I agree with you that the whole losing of Carmelo and then of course the Roberson, the defender.
Yeah.
What's his first name? Something Roberson.
Andre Roberson.
Andre Roberson. I thought it was Roberson.
I mean,
whatever. Regardless. Andre Roberson, I think him being back in the starting lineup because he was hurt for the majority of last season.
Most of the season, yeah.
So he's going to be a big defensive guy. Look for Sam Adams.
Well, Robertson isn't playing.
Oh, he's not?
No, he's out.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, where are you going with this?
All right, the Warriors. I'll talk about like them for the season.
He's gonna be back this season.
Yes, for the season when Westbrook and Roberson get back.
Okay.
So it's gonna be more defensive minded attitude. You're not gonna have Carmelo who doesn't play defense. You get what I'm saying? I think Paul George will be better, and I think Russell Westbrook will be better. They'll get more shots instead of Carmelo getting his shots up. So I think they'll be better for it. They'll be a better team, but they have no chance of being the Warriors.
No.
No one has any chance of being the Warriors.
Of course not. But as a whole, the Thunder, they're going to have a much more team ball movement-based offense because in addition to losing Carmelo, I mean, they also added Dennis Schroeder, who is the starting point guard for the Hawks, who really is a legit starter in this league, but he's just shoved behind Westbrook, so he's forced into that six-man role where I think he could thrive because the Thunder haven't had a really good backup ball handler in recent years. Mm-hmm. And then they also picked up Nerlens.
Like Reggie Jackson, probably.
Exactly. And they also picked up Nerlens Noel, who is also athletic big, defensive-minded, can sort of hold down the paint when they need to give Steven Adams a rest. So I think as a whole, the Thunder are going to be a lot better this season. I think they're going to finish in the top 4 of the West. But the Warriors, man.
Yeah, I mean, the Warriors are unfair.
There's no end in sight with them.
They're a buzzsaw. They're literally a buzzsaw. They can take the first half off. They could be down by 20 points going into the second half. They can go out there and light you up and beat you by 40 at the end of it.
Yeah, they're going to be like, all right, it's time to take this seriously.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And then the addition of Boogie Cousins, whenever he comes back, they don't even need him to be good. That's the thing. The thing that's the most scariest part, is if he comes back and he's actually effective and he fits in that system, they're going to be the greatest team by far, and it's not even close if he's 80, 70% of what he was before in that system.
Yeah. That's still a vast upgrade than like Javal McGee
of course. and the other what's his name? The other center. Why is it escaping me right now?
He injured Kawhi. What was his name? Zaza
Pachulia. Zaza Pachulia. But like, so here's the thing: they're playing with house money with him. They don't need him. Yeah. So even if he's a distraction, even if he sucks, he doesn't fit in the system, and he's a crybaby, they'll just cut him. Straight up, the Warriors can cut him.
Only 1 year.
Yeah, they can put him on the bench. Just sit your butt on the bench, and we don't care what you say. Like, and they're still going to win the championship regardless. So it's kind of unfair. Honestly, we should make an NBA video of what would happen if the Warriors didn't exist. Could you imagine
how actually parity in the league?
Yeah, could you imagine how exciting this NBA season would be if the Warriors weren't in the league? There would be so many storylines, but the fact that the Warriors are just like so much better than every other team that it like destroys all the other storylines. It's almost like a moot point. Like we could talk about how good potentially Toronto could be. You know what I'm saying? Or like even the Lakers or like all these different teams like Indiana, but it's like they don't have a shot at beating the Warriors.
I'm trying to think of like, man, I'm like, no Warriors. That means like the Rockets, they would be like the front runner. And
dude, it would be the Thunder in this game. The Thunder, it would be LA, the Lakers. You would have Houston. You would have the Jazz. Maybe even Portland if they got their act together. Who knows? Like the thing is, it would be open. There would be a competition.
Man, that'd be great.
I know.
But I think this is going to be the last year of the Warriors dynasty, though. I think they're going to – would this be their four-peat? This would be their four-peat, right?
No, this would be three.
Three-peat? Okay, well, they're going to complete the three-peat this year. I think I don't know who it is for sure. I don't know if it's going to be Clay, if it's going to be KD. I think someone is going to leave, though, and open up a little bit more in the league. So, but I do know that the Warriors are definitely going to – like they're still as motivated as ever because this is the last year that – the Warriors are going to play in Oakland, so they want to give the Oakland fans a good send-off with another title.
Yeah. I know all the rumors coming out of Golden State is that this is probably Kevin Durant's last year with Golden State, which would be incredible for the league. I mean, even if that's again, I sound like a broken record. Like that's the worst part about it. And that's the most scariest thing is even if Kevin Durant leaves. They're still probably the favorite in the West. They're not as dominant.
Curry is still the best shooter in the league.
It's not a foregone conclusion that they're going to win the championship, but they're going to be the favorite next year. Even with the only way they wouldn't be the favorite is if Kevin Durant went to like LA. You know what I'm saying, and played with LeBron.
I think that would be worse. I would hate that even more than the Warriors right now.
That's the only way the Warriors. Yeah, that's the only way the Warriors wouldn't be the favorite.
Yeah. But, I mean, they got to shell out a lot of money this offseason because they got to pay Draymond. They got to pay Clay. DeMarcus Cousins is only on a one-year deal.
That's probably why they signed him because they're like, someone's going to leave, so maybe we can re-sign DeMarcus after this season.
Yeah, but like you said, even if Kevin Durant does leave, that still leaves like at least 3 All-Stars on that team.
I mean, you act like they didn't go to 2 straight finals and won one before Kevin Durant got there.
Before Kevin Durant got there.
They won 73 games without him. I mean, they're insane.
I mean, there's nothing more that could be said about the Warriors. I mean, God, they're just too good.
They are.
And if I go against anyone like that uses them in NBA 2K, they're just the ultimate cheater. They're the ultimate coward. Yeah. Pick another team that's just cheating.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go. Let's just do the picks. I mean, clearly we all.
Clearly.
I'm gonna go with the Warriors. Probably like 125 to like.
Do you think they'll get close to beating their record of all time? They got 73. You don't think they're gonna get there?
I don't think they're gonna try for it. I don't think they care enough. You know what I mean? If they wanted to, they could 100%.
Yeah.
They could probably lose like 5 or 6 games on the season.
I don't know because I mean, listen, they got the record, but they didn't win the title. Like maybe they want to get the record and win the title all in the same year.
I mean, they could go for it.
We'll have to see how this first week goes because if they start the season like at 10-0, which they probably will, then maybe they're thinking, hey, let's just see how long we keep the streak.
That's true. If they get to a hot start, they might start thinking it. But again, I just don't think they're motivated to do that. I think in the regular season they just don't care. Coach Kerr is literally just going to be like, "Hey, Iggy, you coach the team today. I don't want to be here." Like he did that last year. Like
they still win.
Yeah, I don't see the motivation there for them in the regular season. They're just waiting for the postseason so they can just not. They'll go undefeated in the postseason. That's what'll happen.
I can't see one beating them.
Yeah. So you got your score prediction? I said 25, 125, like to 93 or 94 or something.
It's definitely going to be at least by 20 points. I don't know for sure, but the Thunder without Westbrook and just with Paul George, it's going to be at least 20 points.
All right, know-it-alls, that is the video. As always, drop a like down below if you liked what you saw. Comment down below what you think about the Warriors. Are the Warriors unfair? I mean, it is what it is.
They are. We all know they are.
What is your opinion on the Warriors? Comment down below. As always, if you're new here, to subscribe. And that's it. That's all I got for them.
All right, guys. I'm so excited for basketball season. A little optimism because now I don't have to focus on my Giants so much. Now I can focus on my Knicks, who are also going to be terrible. But you know what? I just love basketball in general.
We're playing basketball. We love that basketball. All right, guys. That is it. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great one.
Peace.